am so happy to be here with all of you, amazing people who share the same vision that we have of connecting people to the outdoors through a system of trails. Feels just so lucky to be in this crowd, and thank you for being here. Tonight we're going to celebrate our 25th anniversary of the Carson Valley Trails Association. It's a night hopefully to get information that you're looking for, to celebrate, to connect, maybe get some swag, maybe sign up to be a member, maybe just eat some good food and have some anniversary cake. First of all, my name is Nora, and I'm the president of the Trails Association right now, but I'm just another one of you, actually. So I'm just lucky to get to represent the organization that has done such amazing work. So some things, I just want you to feel free. You'll see people up here speaking, but feel free to keep eating, okay? Just get up and keep eating and do what you need to do. There is recycling for your bottles in the back here. And also, you'll see some cards, note cards on the tables. If you have a question that you've been waiting to ask somebody from the Trails Association, you can go ahead and write your question on a card. If you're not going to stay for the whole event, would you please maybe put your email address and we can try to get you an answer? But if you're going to stay for the whole event, maybe the question will get answered while you're here, or we can try to answer it at the end if we have some time. Over here is membership. You need to sign up to be a member or renew your membership. I think that's it for business. So one thing I would like to do just really quickly is to introduce or to recognize our board. So if you are a board member for CVTA, can you just wave right now? Just give a big wave. We're just really lucky to have some amazing expertise and a team that just takes the initiative to do the work that needs to be done in order to make these trails happen. And I just feel so lucky to work with these people. They just work so hard and just taking the initiative to get things done. We also have two new board members here tonight, Neil Falk and Judy Laquier. They stepped up and joined the board. We also have a really unique person who's joined the board. She's not here yet, but her name is Audrey Kiesling, and she's our youth board member. And she's a Douglas High School student who builds trail, who mountain bikes and runs our trails, and she's just amazing. So we're so lucky to have a youth representative. The trails, of course, are the center of everything we do. That's why we're here. It's what we love. We have so many amazing volunteers who make that happen and the work around it to happen. One really unique person, actually I'm going to talk about two, Mary Erba and Ron in the back here. Hello, Ron. Wave. Can you guys wave? These two people, they do so much maintenance and trail building. They are, I think, our top builders. True? Yeah. Another person who I want to mention is a young man named Jared Marchiger. I don't know if you saw in the paper, and I don't know if he's here. I didn't get to meet him, but he was invited. He was a Gatorade Player of the Year. He's a high school cross-country runner, and Gatorade gave him $1,000 to give to an organization, and he chose Carson Valley Trails Association. Amazing. So that's why I feel so lucky to be in this community. Another person I want to recognize is our newsletter editor, Ann Thomas. She's been doing our newsletter now since 2016, and if you've seen them, she's taken on this project, and just like the board, we're all an all-volunteer board, and she's edited and produced this newsletter that is so informative, and she's called in the expertise of Jim Moorfield, who is a botanist and has made those beautiful field guides that you're seeing in our newsletters now. So just two really unique volunteers who keep us informed and keep the mission alive of the Carson Valley Trails Association. I think I'll stop there because I don't want to talk too much, but thank you so much. Oh, we're so excited. Our first trail work day this season is on Sunday. It's in Genoa Canyon. I'm so excited to get out and work on the trails. Maybe we'll see you out there. Next, I'd like to call up Tam Lieberman. Tam, are you here? There you are. Tam is our fund development person, and she's here to recognize some people. Enjoy your evening.
Nora needs a big recognition from all of you. Well, it is our 25th anniversary, so at this point, I wanted to just take a little time to recognize some of us. So, are any past presidents in the audience attending? No past presidents. Any past board members? You have to where? Would you stand up? Please stand up and stay standing. Are there any past board members, other board members? Very good. Thank you. Thank you very, very, very much. All right. Are there any volunteers? Now, I know there are a lot of volunteers that have volunteered in the past, that have volunteered for today, that have volunteered for the trails. So would you all stand up, please? Anybody that's been volunteers? Come on, stand up. Okay. And then anybody who's a member? Anybody a member? Come on, how many of you are members? So, given all that, then I'd like us all to give a big hand to each other for what we've done now in the past and over the years to develop Carson Valley Trails. Please. It wouldn't be without you. Now that's the past, so now I want to look a little bit to the future. We're going to be doing some events this year, and if you watch in the newsletter and on the website, you will hear the specific dates. We've got a wildflower hike coming up. We've got a family bike ride coming up. We're going to do a moonlight walk again, or a hike. That was a lot of fun last year, where we walked and we hiked in the moonlight. That was really great. We're going to have a Chautauqua hike. Charlie Parker is going to take us on a hike. And do you know who Charlie Parker is? Maybe okay, you don't know who Charlie Parker is. Charlie Parker was a female who masqueraded as a male when she was a teamster in this area. And no one knew about it until she died. Oh. And yes, it's a great story. We're going to hear about other wagon masters and stagecoach drivers. So did I tell you all? We got so many things going on here. I think that's it. So watch the newsletter or go to the website and the dates will be announced. Thank you.
Second. That's right, test time. Okay, so I'm Jeremy. Here. I'm sorry. I was once again forced into this lasso, tie, balloons tied to my back, and here I am again, doing the same thing I've done the last few years. So I hope you guys don't mind, because I did not volunteer for this. So yes, 25 years. So what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to test your knowledge. And there are some tough questions on there. And a lot of those questions you're not going to get exactly right. So I think I have some couriers that are going to help me toss out some prizes. Is that true? Go ahead and come on up here. So on your tables, I think, was there 15 questions, 14 questions? So I wanted to kind of see what you guys kind of give back to some of the answers here. And whoever gets it right gets a prize. I was supposed to throw these at you, but I thought that might be a little hazardous. So instead, we're going to just hand them to you. Okay. Number one, how many boardwalks are on the Bentley Heritage Trail? 4.
3.
No. 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 Speak up.
6.
1. Maybe someone has said it, I just didn't hear. 7 was very close.
8.
8. Who said 8? Who's our 8 winner? We're going to funnel you some candy. Yes, there's 8, although in a couple weeks there might be 9, so. One of the ladies right there, I think. Raise your hand, you got 8. Wow, we circumvented that number. Okay, how many trail bridges are there on all the CVTA trails? Anybody? Raise your hand. I got to see a hand. No, not 7. 27? No. 6 is closed. 5. Who said 5? Over here. 5 over there. Yes, there's 3 on Clear Creek, 1 in Fay Luther, Joe's Creek Ranch Trail, and 1 in Genoa. And I mean, you're supposed to get count the planes, but I'm not counting planes. Okay, number 3. How many trail signs are there on all the CVTA trails? How many? It's a lot. Whoever is closest, just give a few answers. Raise your hand. 38? It's much higher. 42. Yeah. 42. 106. 106. 106 is as close as I've heard. You're the winner, 106, although you're way off. This is going to come to a shock to you, but if you count all the little signs and stuff, there's 281. Now, I might be off a few, but yes, that's how many signs. I can give you how many are on all the Forest Service trails around here. It would really blow your mind. So 281. Okay, what trail changed its name in 2016, and what was it formerly named? And what was it called before? Close enough. Bentley Kerman Track Trail. So Bentley changed the name in 2016, and that's what's called now Pitney Heritage Trail. What trail has the tallest waterfall? Somebody's got to raise their hand. Right? What's the name of the trail? Genoa Loop. I think it's like 13 feet or so. It's not that tall. It's a nice one. Okay, how many volunteer hours have gone into trail construction and maintenance? What'd you say? 10,000. 10,000 here. Anybody else? 20,000. Since their first trail was built. Which I'll get to in the presentation. 38,000? Okay, whoever said 20,000. Okay, there's the winner. The answer is almost 25,000. That's how many hours have gone into, on the ground work, not all this stuff that, including events like this that we put on. Okay, cattle can be found on which 2 trails? What's the name of the 2 trails? Okay, so raise your hand. I just heard it here. Okay, right there. Yes, the Bailey Heritage Trail, which not every year they have cows. They did this past fall. And then the West Fork Trail on the Nature Conservancy property by Genoa Lane has, on part of that trail, has cattle for 1 or 2 months out of the year. So those are the 2 trails that cattle can sometimes be found on. Okay, are we having fun? Okay, I'm going to be talking about history, so I got to keep things a little bit lighter. How many turns are there on the Sierra Canyon Trail? A lot. Too many. 55. 58. 36. Okay, that's the closest. 58 is the closest. The answer is 71. That's from the very bottom to the very top. This is the winner. Okay, how much money has CVTA funded through a lot of your donations, membership for trail projects since we've been established? How much money? Nobody's going to get exactly. I don't have an exact number. 50,000? 62. 62,000? Anybody else? 95,000? Somebody said? 125? 180. 180? I'm not auctioning here. It may not be that high. Okay, we have 180. Is that good? 195. You've already won. Somebody else. Okay, we're going to go with the 180 here as the winner. Something you got cake. Okay. 530,000. That's how much money that's been directly used from CVTA to pay for environmental assessments, trail constructions, a lot of signs, bridges, all the amenities that go in the trails. Yeah, quite a bit. Okay, what percent of CVTA trails allow for hikers only? Just a hikers only trail. 1%? I guess there's only 4 choices here. 8. It's on the sheet. 0. 13? Who said 13? Okay, there's the winner, 13. You only have 4 choices if you're looking. So Bailey Heritage Trail is on private land. That is a hiker-only trail, and then part of the Joe's Peak Ranch area is also hikers only. Everything else is multi-use. Which trail? Okay, this is kind of tricky. I'm going to accept more than one answer. What trail has the steepest trail section? I'm not saying the steepest trail overall, it's the steepest section of trail. I don't even know what I'm looking at here. Okay, I'm going to read off 4 of them. Now these are just little sections here, so, and it's going to come to surprise to you. Maybe not a couple of you here. So there's a little steep pitch on the Grandview Loop. As you know, it's on the actual loop piece. If you go right at the loop, and you go probably just 3 minutes, there's a steep pitch in there. There's another steep pitch on the Lutheran Creek Spur, Bentley Heritage Trail. When you cross, a couple of gullies, they're really steep right there. And I'm also counting the cable steps here on the Joe's Peak Ranch Trail that go down. Those are physically the 4 kind of steepest areas of all the trails. So it's a trick question. Just tomatoes, please. Tomatoes. Okay, what fictitious character leads you along the interpretive trail? That was close. Close. What's the first name? What's Diorite's first name? Dino. Kirsten's the winner. So in interpretive science, it's mostly for kids. You see Dino and he gives a little fun fact for the kids. How many fallen trees have been removed from all the trails? I'll give you a hint. You're all going to probably overguess it. Because I'm talking trails that have actually been cut with a saw, not moved off, or branches and things like that. It's not as much as you probably think. 40. And considering half of our trails don't have trees on them. 40. 40. 58. 57. 38. 25. 86. Okay, we're going to win at 86. The answer is about 118. I'm not keeping track of every one. But yeah, considering half the trails don't have trees on them. And there's a few on the trail right now. I'm still waiting for the snow to melt to get to them. Okay, last one. Match the trail owners with the correct trail ownership percentage. Somebody raise their hand and just give me a guess. Just raise your hand. What's the question? BLM 61, correct. Or I'm sorry, that's incorrect. I can't read my own line. That's incorrect. Next. BLM is which one? 17. We may not have a winner here. Okay, who's the other 17? Nature Conservancy. No. Private land. 17% of the trails are on private land. 5%, the Nature Conservancy. So those are the 2 trails that Herb Fork Ranch. And then last 61% is the Forest Service. So Forest Service is almost 2/3 of the trails, and it's scattered amongst the rest. Was that fun? So give yourself a round of applause. So I'm going to quickly just do a quick overview, 10 slides here, and then I'm going to go into each individual trail with a quick history. I kind of did a presentation like this a few years ago on the CVTA history, but because it is a 25th year anniversary, we just thought it was appropriate to give a little background on kind of where we started and where we are now. Now what I will tell you is, especially those of you that may have been here a long time ago, this is not, I can do a 3-hour presentation on this. This is really skimmed over, and there's even some blanks that I don't even know about, so I'm trying to get information from past people and kind of some facts, I guess you could say. So I'm going to go really quick here, and I'm also going to throw out some more questions. So wherever my helpers went, you can hang out up here because there's more candy to give out. So you're not out of the spotlight yet. See if this works. Okay, well I'm going to start off with one more trivia question. This is kind of where I start the presentation. What was the formal name of the Carson Valley Trails Association? Back. Carson Valley. Yeah, it works. Carson Valley Community is board. I'm trying to read the whole thing. Yeah, it's board. I need glasses. Yes, the Carson Valley Community Access. That was the original name, and it was in 1994. And I don't know if you can read that, but It kind of started, just real briefly, as a lot of housing developments that have gone up on the west side started blocking off a lot of the old roads that people would just go up and recreate on. So it's mostly roads that were being cut off for public access. So there was a small group that formed to see if we can keep some of that access and keep public access to the mountains, especially on the west side. The focus was the west side. The east side was also included, but most of the efforts early on was trying to open up some of the areas on the west side. This reaches here. So in 2000, the name was changed to Carson Valley Trails Association. And I think this might be before Barb was even here. I can't tell you exactly why. That's just when the name started, so 2000. So a lot of people don't realize that for 6 years, it wasn't the name that you recognize now, and it's everywhere. Trivia questions. This one is not a candy trivia. These are just, the picture ones are not for candy, these are just for fun. So which trail are you on in that picture? I hear a lot of mumbling. This is the 400 level class. Not Clear Creek. Genoa. Okay, Genoa. Which trail in Genoa? Which loop? No, not Sierra. There's 2 left. What was that? No. It's the Eagle Ridge loop. So Genoa Canyon Trail System has the Eagle Ridge Loop, Genoa Loop, and the Sierra Canyon Trail. And there's a whole mixed ways that you can do the trails, but those are the 3 names. So Eagle Ridge Loop is where that's taken from. Morning picture. So early on, real quick here, in 2003 and 2004, the Forest Service, Douglas County, and Carson Valley Trails Association had several meetings before I was involved, trying to look at priorities of what to focus on. So if you can read that, I can barely read from here, but I wrote down what's been generally successful from those. So faded the Joe's Peak Ranch Trail area was definitely the high priority, and what took a lot of time early on from the early founders to get public access. So the faded the Joe's Peak Ranch Trailheads, expansion of the Spooner South Trailhead for the eventual trails at Clear Creek, that happened in 2010, got expanded. The Kerman Field, which is currently the Bentley Heritage Trail, that got finished in 2010. Eagle Ridge Trailhead and Genoa Canyon are part of the Genoa Trail System. River Fork Ranch, which is what the Nature Conservancy owns, so that was private, it became Nature Conservancy, and now there's public access there. That got open in 2012 for public access, and then Clear Creek area really is kind of continuing, but we got the upper section done last year, so 2018 is the latest. We got the middle section in 2014. So those were identified back in 0304, before I was ever here, and most people associated with CVTA was probably even here. So you can see it takes a long time to develop these, but those are the ones that, for the most part, have been successful. They're not all necessarily complete or maybe best aligned or improvements that can still be made, but they've pretty much been completed and has been a successful part of what CVTA has accomplished. We did a website started in 2005. It's going to give 2 different renditions, 2009 and 2017 is our current website. And this is kind of the busiest slide, but we did a strategic plan in 2009 through 2018, it's a 10-year strategic plan. We just got done with one last year, and that was a year-long process, maybe even 18 months, and it's a 5-year strategic plan. So that just kind of guides us over the next 5 years on what we want to accomplish. So I just quickly underline on those, the strategic directions. So basically we want to facilitate a system of trails, create and maintain a system of trails, which we're doing, increase awareness of CVTA, and obtain sufficient resources, meaning we need help on the ground to actually get this stuff accomplished, and it can also be funds and technology as far as like websites to make this all happen. So those are our 3 strategic directions. Okay, another trivia. What trail are you on there? Somebody said Penny back there. This is not a candy question, sorry. But congratulations. It's the only trail that has those type of trees, right? You touching the road. Okay, here's a candy question. How many miles of trail does CVTA maintain? 59, 55, 53, 54. 54 miles, give or take a few tenths. So there's our limit. So, yeah, right over here. So yes, the trail history. So I'm going to go over kind of each trail real quickly. And again, this is really watered down, but I don't want to bore you. That's why I'm throwing all these trivia questions. But you can see that on the right side. That's an overview of Carson Valley, basically. So you have Pinning Trail on the bottom right, Third Creek top left, Big Ether bottom left. So that can be pointed. So we have 54 miles of trails, 5 trail systems, and I include River Fork Ranch with Genoa, because at some point they're going to connect, I think. There's a lot of talk about that happening. So I kind of include that with Genoa, and of course, one Carson Valley. So I'll start with what basically started everything, was the Big Ether Joe's Peak Ranch trail system that we know today. This was, and there's a couple people that can probably speak better on it than I can, but real briefly, this is what took several years to get the first trail in Carson Valley. So there's a lot of concentration on trying to get public access in that area. In 1999, CVTA partnered with the American Land Conservancy to purchase the Big Ether Trailhead from a nearby private landowner, and then deeded it to the U.S. Forest Service in 2000. So the price was around $65 to $85. From what I've found from notes, I don't know the exact number. That's what was purchased through a willing landowner to get public access. So if you've been to Big Ether, it's all kind of tight. It's kind of that bottom piece there, you're kind of jammed in there. But that's the access point that was private and is now public. So very, very thankful for the efforts that went into that to really start what we now know of CVTA trails. That was kind of what got it all going. So some of the early struggles, it was tough for the people associated with CVTA early on to kind of convince people that public access and trails were important for the community, not just themselves, but you see it all the time today. People moving in, everybody wants to go to the trails. A lot of people moving here, they love the trails, they want access to it. So that public access is really important for the community. So there was a lack of support. We were a very, very small organization, didn't have a lot of funds at all. And in that area, you're dealing with California, Nevada, Douglas County, Alpine County, different contractors, private developers. There's all kinds of entities to make it happen. It just doesn't happen overnight. So there's a lot of work early on for years to get that stuff to happen. By 2005, the Big Ether Trail got so much use that yes, and I know some of you probably don't like me talking about it, but it got pooped out pretty bad. So it's a heavy, heavy use and dog use as well. So here's your trivia question. And I got your prize in here. So whoever can tell me closest,
By the
how
week, the
many
month,
pounds of crap has been picked up just from the Big Ether Trailhead and the first 3/10 of a mile of that trail since 2005. That's when we had started to cruise. 127 pounds? Two tons. You got 2 tons here. That's 4,000 pounds. Anybody want to go more than that?
yes, more than that.
You want to go more?
Yes,
What do you want to go?
10 tons.
10 tons. That's 20,000 pounds. You want to go more than that?
Don't even pick it up.
Okay, I got those stats here. So we got 20,000. We good? Okay, we got a winner. Okay, here's your answer. 30,000. Now these are best guess, but we know basically what your average dog feedback is how much is picked up. We have roughly 7,300 bags that are actually used per year, and then there's another 3,600 that isn't. So we have a dog food crew, not the most glamorous job, but it's really important. Over the years, people have started to pick up more and more, but it was really bad early on to where people wouldn't even go there and hike because it was just so bad. And I've seen this on several trails, especially in the Reno area. It is absolutely awful when there isn't somebody there taking care of it. So just a big thank you for those. If you won't recognize, stand up. If you don't, thank you so much. Okay, next trivia king. Got that anyway, I don't want to. Okay, what was the first constructed CVTA
Well, this one
trail
smells
and what
different.
year? That's going to be a tasty one. Okay, what was the first trail? Bay Luther? No. The first constructed trail.
Sandy Trail. The immigrant trail.
No. We were close. No. Okay, remember I'm talking about the Bay Luther Joe's Peak Ranch Trail System right now, so it's one of those trails.
Sandy Trail has to be the
Okay, what is it, Barb?
interpreters.
All right, give me that candy, it's mine. Okay, it was the Joe's Peak Ranch Trail.
Oh.
That's the constructed trail with tools that was done in 2006. I think I'm right on that.
I think we're quite sure.
So that was in 2006. That was a 10-year project. So it took a long time to get that trail going. So 2006 was the first constructed trail. And that same year, the BLM completed environmental assessment for a lot of the trails around Bay Luther. So all the little loop trails that we have named. Then those got started. So we've got the interpretive trail, working. Interpretive Trail 07, Bay Luther Joe's Peak Ranch Trail. So then we connected, basically that's when we connected Joe's Peak Ranch and Bay Luther at that time period. Basically we're connectors. So then that one was built. Valley View Loop was also built in 2008. And then there's some of the others as well. 2009, we got the trail signs and maps put in. And then 2010, the interpretive signs went in, kind of completed all that. So that's kind of a timeline, a real quick timeline. So some of the challenges with the trail is that, some of the alignments weren't the best, but we took what we could get. So we had some of these erosion problems. We try to work on those, but they're not perfect. So there's still challenges out there where if we can move a trail and prevent the maintenance that's to go into it, that's what we're trying to do. That's good. So we did do some improvements. So on the Joe's Peak Ranch Trail side of that, we were able to kind of meander up there. So little switchbacks. We're still stuck in this easement location, so we were able to do that. We did an improvement on the Grandview Loop and actually made it a nice loop up there, a really nice trail, great views. So we got people off that old road. You can still use that old road, but for a lot of people, that loop is really nice. So we were able to do some alignments. There's still a few places we'd like to do more work, and it's kind of what we're working on behind the scenes. And then just last year, we were able to fund the resurfacing of the part of that Bay Luther parking lot. It's gotten a lot of potholes in it, so we were able to pay to fix some of the worst of those sections. So that's kind of a quick overview of that trail system. So what is this trail? It's on the location, it's on the Bay Luther Trail System. Anybody know? It's the highest one. Grandview Loop. There's the winner. Sorry, no candy on that one. However, if you're feeling lucky, see if you can answer that one. So we have 9 named trails on the whole Bay Luther Joe's Peak Ranch. Just go ahead and name them out here. Jeffrey Pine, Bitter Cherry, Grandview, Joe's Peak, and the favorite Joe's Peak Ranch Trail, Interpretive Trail, Valley View Loop, Lonesome Trail. We're missing two. What's the first one? Sandy Trail, and the one that's kind of hidden. Spur, yes, the Luther Creek Spur. Okay, so here's the map of it. So if you get it, that might be a little hard to read, but yeah, Luther Creek Spur is that farthest southwest one. But it's not actually signed right at the junction. That's a tough one, I know. So, next one. In 2010, the completion of what was the Bentley Kerman Track Trail is now called the Bentley Heritage Trail. At that time, that was 2009 and 2010 that we worked on that one. You'll notice the middle loop piece on the west side did not exist at that time. We built that later. So 2010 is when that started. Oh yeah, we'll take care of it. So we're always looking for more help. On the tables, we have this every year. If you're interested in helping out, you can actually help out on the trail itself. And then we also need people to sort of be caretakers on the trail. So if you're out and about and you see something, you see a sign that's been defaced or pulled out, if you see trash of some sort, logs, trees that have fallen down, reporting them, getting a picture of them are perfect so we know where they are, what size, so we know how we need to take care of it. So eyes and ears on the trail is really helpful. Then those get reported back to me, and either I can take care of it or some of the people that kind of work with me can go out and take care of themselves. So we're always looking for people that can help out on the trails in just that simple way if you don't want to actually physically do work. So you can be on the trail, you can be on the trailheads, even if you don't want to hike. You can once a week go by a trail and just make sure everything looks okay, all the signs are there, the kiosk is good, it looks nice and clean. That's all I'm asking. That help really makes a difference. Makes it look nice, it looks inviting, looks like it's being taken care of, and it means something to the community. So yeah, that's the sign-up sheet. That's really about all I have. Now I have a whole other list of slides to talk about all kinds of other projects. If anybody is interested or has questions about a certain area, just talk to me afterwards and I'll be happy to answer your questions. So is there anything else on your part? Oh, that's the main one.
Thanks, Jim. That's really good stuff. We have one last raffle prize. It's a basket filled with biking and hiking accessories. All the biking accessories were donated by Bike Habitat. And Jeremy, if you'll do the honors. Okay, 813933. Oh, Jim, you got it.
That is me. Thank you all. Does anybody, if you have question cards, are there any question cards out there on the table? You do?
What's next? What trail is scheduled next? What new one?
Well, I think we just heard Jeremy mention about the hope of the taking off from James Lee Park to connect to Clear Creek.
Yeah, well, everything we do is dependent on the landowners, and there's a lot of private land valleys, and maybe there's not a lot of stuff we can do, but we have a lot of stuff we'd like to improve on. Maybe the Joe's Peak Ranch, like to finish the Clear Creek Trail all the way down and get another loop out there. There's other things that are going on some private lands that there's some locations that are in talks of going into conservation easements, which could allow public access, which at that point we can maybe make connections between certain trails. I'm really not trying to hide anything. There isn't anything out there right now, but there's stuff that's on the burners just simmering right now, and I there's nothing definitive anywhere yet. There's just some of these places like the Third Creek Trail, we're going to try to keep pushing and finish that. That's probably the most obvious example at this point. I mean, it's a great question. There is no, we're not doing anything tomorrow except maintenance. Which there's a work day on Saturday. Anybody? Sunday. Usually it's Saturdays.
Thanks, Terry. And once we do have the opportunities, we're ready. We are ready, thanks to all of you. So if you have question cards or any questions, you can just leave them on the table. Also, if you have children and you want to bring them balloons, feel free to take them. And there's cake left over. And thank you to all our volunteers who in the kitchen. Yes.
I do have a question. I understand the dog food is the argument here. But horse poop. What's the rule? Opinion says please clean up all your animal waste, dog and horse. I heard it say Luther, you're only supposed to clean up the horse poop in the park.
So there's no requirement to pick up. Oh, restate your question. Okay. She's asking, there's a lot of emphasis on the dog poop. Is there an emphasis on horse poop in some areas? And then she's suggesting that, like on the Pinion Trailhead, we reference, please clean up horse waste and dog waste. That's just in reference to the trailhead, because that's where, as with any animal, it's just like when you go home tonight, what's the first thing you're probably going to do? So when the animal gets out of the car, it's the first thing they're going to do. So usually, it's at the trailhead is when there's a lot of crap, right? So the main difference is horse poop is all natural. That's just alfalfa, grass. That's all natural thing. It decomposes quickly. It's a natural thing. Dog poop is the complete opposite. It is full of nasty diseases. So that's why we want to keep it clean. I don't want that getting on my shoe, getting in the car. You can see horse poop, but dog poop, we step in that stuff all the time. It's kind of nasty. And that's kind of just a brief rundown of the difference between the two. There is no legal requirement to pick up your dog food. I wish there was. So it would be a lot less headache on myself and some of the others that are taking care of the trail. But it's just a courtesy thing, number one. These places get really run over. As I told you, there's some places in Reno that it just blow your mind. It's absolutely nasty to do that. So that's kind of a quick answer. I hope that helps. Yeah, anybody else? Pinion Trail really doesn't get a lot of that dog use as the trails that are near water. There's no water in that trail system, so it's not an issue yet. Nothing like some of the other trails. So, we don't have anything. If somebody wants to donate the materials, it's going to, with their blood, tell me they're going to maintain it for the next 10 years, and we would do it. But otherwise, we're not going to do it.
Very great talk. We actually can list way down the Payne's Bridge and the trail. Redwood County to the hot springs, Mountain Hospital. Is there any progress in that? I know Carl was working on it a little bit on the front. Any progress in making that 21-mile trail a reality to the hot springs?
I guess, well, first thing is, yes, that was looked at. I've walked all that stuff on Wally and worked in the past. I've done all the trail layouts for that stuff. At the time, Alpine County was very much against any kind of trail system. I think they've changed their mind in recent years, from my understanding. They were not at all for that. The Forest Service and the BLM disapproved anything from the Rubensault Dam through internal talks before that got going, as far as people knowing about it. So that all got shut down early on by the authorities, the landowners, and county commissioners and things like that early on. Second of all, it's kind of out of our area. It starts to get away from Carson Valley in a way, so we would have to make a decision on whether we can commit that, but we need human resources to take care of what we have. So to do something that big, it would be a big undertaking for us. But I do think it would be a nice trail kind of being along the river in places. So it's always a possibility, but we're not actively involved in that right now. Anybody else have any questions, just want to ask me, just coming up afterwards, otherwise I think we're done, so thank you very much for coming out.